because this is a Mac, so like
It does it. It's good. Okay.
yeah, the sound is usually good. So.
Hey, everybody. If you guys are watching, make sure to share this out. Comment below. If you're watching a replay, put a hashtag replay. We're just gonna let some viewers get on, and I'm gonna make sure that this is sharing out to everybody. Welcome everyone to Fired Up Fridays with Miss Alyse Amore. I like saying Amore. Okay.
It's okay.
You got a
Everything's
problem? Amores.
yeah.
Amor. That's what I'm saying right now. Just
That's
love, okay?
beautiful. I had a teacher who was always sing that song to me. Whenever time I walked in, he'd be like, "It's amores."
It's amore. That's cute. I like that. I like that. I'm gonna make sure that this is going public because the Facebook is not a friend. They're not friends of mine, and what they like to do is to let me know who's what. Let me go ahead and edit the live video. Make sure it's tagged on your page, girl. And yeah, how you doing though? Before I go ahead and introduce you, I'm gonna let everybody get on. How you doing today?
I'm doing so good. It's Friday, which means end of the day with some good markets, some good volatility. Yeah. And then
today was actually really interesting in the markets, honestly.
Yes, it was. Yeah, the morning was really nice. US 30 always has good moves on Friday, so I didn't anticipate it like Fridays that much, and then I started to realize that I was missing out. So yeah,
Forex.
I do now.
Mother and epic. There we go. I'm gonna make it really easy because yeah, there we go. Okay. Righty. So anybody that's tuning in, how are you? I hope everyone's doing amazing. You guys know the drill. It's Fired Up Friday. Tell me one word below on how you guys are feeling. Go ahead and show some love to Miss, hey Queen, to Miss Alyse. Many of you guys know her, okay? But I will go ahead and introduce her. So Coach Alyse actually started her trading journey just under 3 years ago. She's going to share a little bit about her story. But just like myself, she's a single mom and she was struggling to deal with payments of like daycare and like balancing work and home and all that. And she found trading, right? And so what's beautiful about that story is that within 3 months, she actually fired her boss. And congratulations on that. Fast forward to today, she's not just trading for personal accounts for investors, but she's also one of our lovely, amazing educators on Epic Trading. So welcome and thank you so much for your time today. How you feeling, girl?
I'm fired up. It's Fired Up Friday.
It's Fired Up Friday. So the theme with Fired Up Friday that a lot of people don't know, and the reason I started this backstory on that is I was actually just before going to work, I would go to work on Friday nights and I was like, well, this is the start to my week. So I would get everybody fired up because it's the weekend. However, it's to go ahead and honor what happened in the entire week and being like, yo, look, we killed it. We did this. Don't let go of the flow. Take that into the weekend because, of course, we're studying and we're doing all that in the Forex space. So it doesn't stop there, right? As an entrepreneur, your world continues into the weekends. There's no such thing as weekends. It's just the days, right? And you choose whenever you decide to take off, right?
Yeah.
So I know that you mentioned to me a little bit about your history, but give me a little bit more in depth on how you were feeling and what brought you to that space.
So my previous experience was in the hospitality industry. Everything that I did previously, I was actually like I did fine in. It's not like I was struggling necessarily in terms of like career-wise. Financially, yeah, I wasn't thriving or anything. But to me, it was also the fact that it wasn't challenging. I feel like and there wasn't growth there like I wanted. I felt like in all things that I did that I was always being held back. And a lot of my growth and potential like was in the hands of other people, right? Either to your boss or like if you're in a trading team or training, sorry, that sounded like I said trading.
It's almost the same thing right for us right now, right?
My brain can't even say T-word without saying trading. Like if we're training together, like I would actually take my own initiative to like be ahead. And then it was like, no, you need to slow down, wait for everybody else. And I always felt like I hadn't found my purpose. So to me, trading, like, it was just so natural to me, and it felt more like my purpose. I don't know how to describe it.
You know,
Um,
I actually do know how it feels. I don't know how to describe it only because like I've always felt since I was a kid, I don't know if that's the same with you, that
right,
my primary purpose was to help people. Now, I didn't know how that would manifest, what that would show up as, you know, as I got older, but I
right,
just knew that that was anytime someone asked me for a list of what I wanted to do when I grew up, the
right,
first thing I would write is help people, right?
right.
And so
Mhm,
what's funny is that my experience with you has only been very brief, but I'm gonna tell you something. One of the first sessions I jumped on, I think it was a
mhm.
2 a.m. session, and I was like, yo, this chick knows exactly what she's saying. And then you were just so
Oh, yeah.
unapologetic about like things. And I was like, she's like my spirit animal
I
right
am
now.
so direct, it's almost like sometimes I have to, like, "Ooh."
Yeah,
I
I
look at that 'cause
know.
sometimes people are sensitive, and it's interesting too because 'cause I'm actually sensitive. It's interesting that I'm so direct considering how sensitive I can be sometimes.
Yeah,
When
exactly.
it comes to certain things, which trading is one of them, I tend to be like, I guess it's when it's something like you know about, you just kind of like passionately and direct about it. But I'm very big. My teaching approach is I don't really baby anybody. I don't like to baby people because it's such an independent journey in terms of like growth. And I feel like
Mm,
me babying people does not help them.
yeah.
So, so yeah, sometimes I give a little bit of tough love. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, but I think it's necessary in this journey because the markets are that way, right? The markets
Yeah.
are not going to hold your hand. They're
They're
going to.
unforgiving.
If you can't take that from a person, you definitely can't take it from a market.
I'm glad you actually said that because it's so
Yeah.
true. By the way, everybody who's tuning in, make sure to drop some love below. I know you guys know who Miss Alyse is. Drop some fire emojis down below. It is Fired Up Friday. Go ahead and show us some love. I want to know who's in here. As you guys already noticed, I go ahead and drop comments right onto the live. So if you want to be featured, make sure to go ahead and shout out Miss Alyse down below and share this out to your teams. And yes, this is Epic Trading Month. Okay, I don't care. I'm shouting it from the rooftops. At first, I was very like shy about it, only because I've had quite the journey myself with foreign
Mhm.
exchange. And it's funny, like we started around the same time because you said about 3 years ago, right?
Right. Yeah.
My trading anniversary is October 14th. So it's
Yay.
like literally next, right? But my first couple of years were just, it was, I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah.
It wasn't, let's just say that if I had this education, the one that you guys are teaching, Coach Max,
Mhm.
Ryan Damo, you know, Jeffrey Rojas, shouts to all the educators because you guys are
Yes.
awesome, right?
I love our
But
team.
if it wasn't, if I wish if I had this particular education, I think I would have like accelerated much quicker. It's been kind of a stumbling journey for myself, thinking that I got it, like got the right strategy, you got the right people and all that. Tell me a little bit about how that started for you and what brought you into trading in general.
Right. Well, yeah. So I was looking for something. I know that. I was looking for.
Same.
Well, I knew that I needed something different and something new, but I was researching like, well, what do the wealthy do? How can I make money work for me instead of me work for money, right? Because I
Right.
was doing so much, and it's like when you're exchanging time and effort for money, that's limited, right? You can only so many hours in a day. So yeah, you can take on extra jobs and stuff, but then eventually, sleeping is slightly mandatory. So I was already getting 2 hours of sleep a night. It's like, well, I can't do much more
Yeah.
than that. I need to at least be a functional zombie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started researching and I was like, well, I'm gonna do some type of investing or trading, something where I can learn to grow my money or have my money work for me. And it's just so funny, right? When you seek and it's like you put it out into the universe, it like finds its way to you, right? So yeah, my friend Jay was like, oh, I just started learning Forex. I think you would love this. Matter of fact, I think you would kill it. He had a good read on me, right? So yeah, I started learning, and then it just took off from there. So for me, when I was
Right.
introduced to it, because I like to tell people like the beginning, because I feel like people have different approaches when they are introduced to Forex, right? It's one
Mhm.
of those, yeah, no, I'm good. Like right away, no, sounds scammy, or like, yes, let's do it. Okay, so for me, I was the crazy one, right? Let's do it. Oh my god.
That was
It wasn't
me.
even like the money thing. It was just like, I mean, yeah, that's a result of it, but I understood too that it was something that was going to be a challenge and something that I would just want to take on. And Yeah, so I was borderline obsessed.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, quickly, but go ahead and lower your volume a little bit because I'm getting some feedback there. Hence
right,
the
'cause I'm
headphones.
loud and Cuban. Right.
No, it's whenever I talk, I hear myself, so I
Oh,
can.
I got
So
you.
I'm loud, girl. So
Yeah,
it's probably bouncing off your walls.
the
But
Cuban
anyways,
in me, my friends know to tell
yeah, I
me
didn't know you were Cuban.
I am Cuban, yeah.
Okay, well, I'm Puerto Rican Dominican, so it's so
Hey,
common. All right,
sisters.
nice. I love that. So yeah, a lot of people always ask me about the journeys, right? They always
Mhm.
ask me like, how do you begin? Where do you find it? When I started, I was
Right.
introduced in the network marketing space. And what's
Yeah.
funny is that I had already been doing it. And I was just like, you know what? I said, what's worse? Either I can offer something that doesn't work, whether it's like pills and potions and all that, which I've done, had some
Mhm.
mild success with. And I was like, okay, I can either learn this stuff and offer it, but what they're getting is both. I was like, so they're
Mhm.
getting a residual and they're learning a skill set. For me, it was a win-win, right?
And then
And so
I
I
can
thought,
grow my money while I make my money. What? I'm full.
exactly. Yeah, and then you
Move my
follow the
money.
leader. You follow the leader because really that's what you're doing. You're copying the leader until you get your strategy or until you get your
Mhm.
trading plan set up and you find out what works for you, what doesn't work for you, pairs and whatnot. But to go back to that, when I first started, I would literally do like 8, 9 hours, okay,
Yeah,
of
I would practice for
studying
hours.
and trading for hours, for hours.
Mhm.
I was far more diligent, I think, than I am now. I'm so focused on helping everybody right now. So I definitely got to get back into it. But just, for me, knowing the beginning, and when, okay, that's actually a good question because something just came to me. Because I know when I
For
had
sure.
kind of like my breakthrough. When did you have like your
Mhm.
breakthrough moment where you're just like, holy crap, I got this?
Right. So, sometimes it's like, okay, sometimes people have them in a good moment and sometimes you have them in a bad moment, right? So, mine were unfortunately like big fails, right? So, as you learn, you develop your own trading plan, right? And you develop your trading rules based off your experiences. So like I've already told my story in one of my lives about my NFP experience where I didn't take it seriously and I was like, okay, whatever. And then my trade went from positive 150 to like negative 800 in seconds. I couldn't close that thing fast enough. So that was one thing I was like, right, respect the
Like,
market.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm
And then
sorry.
yeah, I won't do it again, trading gods. I'm so sorry. Um, but a lot of my aha moments are times where you just like you learn from mistakes. So for me, like one of my trading rules, like one of my second ones that I did was the market makes new highs and new lows every day. So trade based off like what the market tells you. Because I had two big losses. One of them was like gold. This is obviously it's like made new highs right now, but in like 2017 it had reached the high of that year and everybody and their mom was like sell it, sell it. And of course in the beginning, right, you're very impressionable, right? Whatever anybody tells you, you're like, I'm taking it. You just want to trade everything.
Yeah.
I missed one pip in the market. I got to trade it. So, I'm selling with everybody. Of course, it keeps going, right? The market doesn't care what everybody thinks. And then GJ, I think, had made a new low, and everybody's, of course, I was making a new low, buy, and ooh, did that too. It
You
got
gotta
well.
wait. You gotta wait for that retest,
Yeah.
y'all. You gotta
And my
wait.
aha moments were really just saying, like, I really do have to see what the market's telling me, right? Um, because when you really go back and process those things, you have to see what the error really was. And for me, my arrows, like consistently, were due to ego, right? I wanted to be right, or I wanted to like, I didn't want to lose, right? So the thing with all those trades is that I could have just simply closed it and like allow yourself to be wrong, right? Allow yourself to be a beginner, allow yourself to be wrong. It can be a small mistake or it can be big. It's your choice how big that mistake is, right? But
Absolutely.
your ego gets in the way and you want to be right and you're like, what everybody said, and then you go through all the emotional talk to yourself, right? The crazy talk. And then it's like, man, I could have just simply closed that trade. So a lot of my aha moments were really in my self growth, right? So you have
Mm.
it obviously in trading, like in terms of your actual strategy. But I would say most of the aha moments that really got me better as a trader was my self growth in terms of how
Mhm.
like my self talk, the way I think, and just stuff like that. The self growth is really reflects in the trading.
I agree 1000%
Yeah, I was gonna
wholeheartedly.
say, I'm sure your experience is similar because to me, from what I've seen with everybody who's at a higher level, you have to, because the market, the way I describe it to people is that the market tells you who you are.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can lie to yourself all day and say I'm patient, but if you're not being patient, the market's like, no, you're gonna keep losing because you're not
It's telling on you. It'll
you're not
tell on
being
you.
patient. It's gonna keep telling you. right? So are you going to make that decision to change that and have your aha moment of like, wow, I really could just be patient here
Yeah.
or be more
Yeah.
disciplined. So yeah.
I had to learn that the hard way. It's funny you said something with gold because I actually was scalping it and I was like, you know what? And I had a position that was running, right? And then I was like, oh my God, this thing is creating new highs. And I was like, I
Mhm.
gotta keep going. I gotta keep going.
Right.
Funny enough, I go ahead. I think I grew an account from like 100 to 800, and I was like, having fun, and I was like, this is awesome, right? And I was like, finally,
Right.
I thought I had my breakthrough moment. This is when it gets you, right?
The
Thought I had my
market's
breakthrough moment. I went to
like,
go eat. I went and I
yeah.
went to place a trade. I did not set a stop loss or a take
Oh no,
profit.
not the
I completely forgot that I had a trade open because it was going in the positive. And instead of closing it out and saying, let me just take my money, it's better some
Mhm.
money than no money or a drawdown. And then
Yep.
I didn't do that. So I went from 800 to I think like 50
Yep.
bucks. It blew my entire account because it reversed. And
You
I
did
was doing the
exactly what
high
I did
loss.
on NFT. When they said, "Hey, make sure you secure it. Make sure you did it." I was like, "Oh, I'm up 150. There's no way." I'm like, "It'll go some pips. There's no way it's gonna go back." I didn't even think it was gonna go back to zero. Can you believe it? Like, as an experienced trader, like you just want to be like, you know what? Take that lesson. Like the person who told me, they probably just like, you know what? You're gonna figure out anyway. So, like, they're
Yeah,
not gonna be
exactly.
telling me. I'm gonna need you to figure that one out.
I'm glad that
So,
you talked about mindset. Let's actually discuss that a little bit because a lot of people
definitely.
don't understand. They think it's just numbers and it's analysis. Yes, that's part of it. You can be the best technical analysis trader. You can check
Mhm.
fundamentals. You can know all that. But going on what trading in the zone has taught me, okay? And not
Mhm.
only that, but just my experience has taught me that if I'm not in the right mind frame, don't trade, right?
Yeah,
Do not
that'll
trade.
affect your
Go ahead
trade.
and meditate, go work out, go talk to a friend, go let it something. But is there any tips that you can
Mhm.
give on that? Because I know that for me, I just let everybody know, like, do not get
Right.
onto that computer with everything in your mind. Because I've done it, or not even the computer, just trade on your phone. Because
Mhm.
I'm a phone, I just do it on my
Yeah, I
phone
trade
most
my
of the time.
phone too.
You know what I mean? So is there anything you can offer? Because you always talk about some dope mindset stuff. I think
Yes,
we
I
should go.
do. So one of my biggest things that I recommend is to eventually trade without emotion. And I know, like, when I say this now, I can even think of talking to myself and being like, okay, whatever. It doesn't seem achievable, right? It's like, how
That's
can you
self-talk.
lose and not be like not be upset, or how can you like win and not be overly excited? So I'm not saying you can't celebrate your wins, but what I mean is like the emotional highs and emotional lows. I have students I talk with about this, and the way we describe it, because it works bad actually both ways, right? Because that's when the cockiness comes in, and you're like, oh, I'm undefeatable. We call it Hulk trading. You just want to go in and like Hulk smash. You just want to go and I'm taking this pair. You get pips, you get pips, you get pips. So like you just go in there and you get crazy, and it's like, okay, well, and then that's when you become reckless, right? You're in there, you think you're undefeatable, and you become reckless. And then there's also like the upset low, right, where you're just like,
Hmm.
oh, I can't do anything. You're just upset, and then something as little as like you go down like 2 pips, and you're like, I'm quitting this. I hate this. Like if you can't be, you got to find that level ground. So whatever it
Hmm.
takes for you to develop, where you can be more emotionally stable, because you want to make logical decisions, right?
Yeah.
So if you're like that emotionally going into the market, then it's going to affect your trading. So eventually the goal is to be unaffected by
Either
losses
one.
specifically, but necessarily like, yeah, both of them. But yeah, of course, like still celebrate your wins, just to be clear. But I don't want you to be like to the point where you just like go crazy and it's like you're reckless and stuff.
Yeah, no trading
So
plan. Let's just go
and
ahead and
don't
keep
take it
scalping.
personally. I always tell people not to take their losses personally, because
They're lessons. They're not even
you have to
losses.
learn. Like you simply have to learn. I think you already mentioned Trading the Zone, which is a great book. The other one that really changed my mindset, like had me notice to think things differently, was Market Wizards. That one's
Hmm.
really long, but he interviews all the top traders like of the last few decades. And what I learned consistently, the biggest thing I took from that is that they all were like, yeah, I was awful. Every single one of them, like none of them, there was not one of them who was like, yeah, I've been good since day one. And they would
Hmm.
talk about like their biggest loss, and like these losses, like keep in mind these people trade for humongous fun. So like, yeah, I lost $1 million that day. And it's like, oh, what? So, but a lot of them too had the similarity of saying, I had this biggest loss, and then now and I turned that into my biggest wins, right?
Yeah.
So if you're
Yeah.
able to take those things and evolve, right, and be able to be diligent enough to survive that, or like emotionally not wreck yourself over that, then yeah, that helps you evolve as a trader.
I'm glad you actually mentioned that. I know that Trevion. True, I let losses ruin my whole day sometimes. Okay. How
Yeah.
many of you guys have had those moments? I know there's a lot of traders on right now. How many have you let
Back in the day.
Yo, I used to let, like, literally I
Yeah.
would be such a jerk to the people that I like. I just, because I was in such a bad mood. I was like,
Yeah.
you know, and
Mhm.
it sucks, it sucks, especially because if I'm not emotional, if I'm not managing myself, because self-management is everything. Self-management is everything, not just in trading, but in your life. If you're not able to manage your emotions in real-time situations in general, you're not
Mhm.
going to be the most even keel person, or calm, whether it's, or at peace, I want to say. If you're not
Yeah,
at peace with
that's a good one.
yourself and your surroundings and your situations, what do you really think is going to happen with traders? And it's funny because over the years, as I was helping people, it was always the same consistent thing. I already knew right from the jump. I was like, they're
Mhm.
probably going to have some issue because they were impatient. Okay.
Mhm.
They weren't diligent. They weren't looking for the answers on their own. They weren't taking notes. Anything that
Mhm.
I offered them, whether it was some kind of advice, they wouldn't apply it. And
Right.
then they would say, like, oh, well, I didn't do it because of X, Y, and Z kids, baby daddy, baby mama. I'm going through this. I'm like, well, get yourself stable first, because right
Yeah.
now that's what you got to focus on, is yourself and self-management before you even consider learning a skill set that actually requires you to have that balance anyway, right?
Yeah, your life reflects in your trading. If your life
Absolutely.
isn't organized, your trading isn't organized, and well,
Yeah.
vice versa, but really same thing.
She said, what is it called? Run that back, sis. I think you
Oh,
said
Market
marketing
Wizards.
wizards.
Market Wizards is
Market
by, hold on,
wizards.
I'll tell you, I have it on Audible too.
I'm glad that you said it because I was going to ask the same thing.
Oh
I
my
would have
god,
just ran it
it's
back
a really
myself.
long, it's so long. It's like 12
So it's
hours.
an Audible. I'm like Audible. I
Hold on,
got
I'll see
you.
if I can zoom in the picture of it. Hold on, let me pause it and then let me zoom it in. Oh, that's not it.
Yeah. Oh,
There
okay. I
you
see it. I
go.
love it. Awesome.
Back
Awesome. You guys screenshot
Dagger.
that, save it. She's giving us sauce already. If you guys love what she's sharing so far, go ahead and
So
drop some love down below. Put some diamonds in the chat, because diamonds are built in the rough. People don't
yes.
get that, and I'm actually pretty proud because my birthstone's a diamond. So, like, I'm always saying, like, I was meant to have these rough situations.
Yes.
I don't want to share too much, but I've had some pretty rough situations the last couple of weeks. It's
Mhm.
interesting because it's not like my life has been easy, not even close. Okay. But
Yeah,
it's built
no.
up such an exterior, but an interior as well for myself, because I've also had to learn to honor the parts of myself that I wasn't allowing being shown.
Right.
Vulnerability, and being like, you know what? There's no way I can do this all by myself. There's a team,
Right.
there's a support system, and I'm always the one
Yeah.
looking to be the one that everyone leaned on. And I was like, yo, this is a 100 scenario. Like, there's no
Mhm.
way that I can give 100 and I'm getting 0 or only 50 back. There has to be I
An
don't want to
even
say
exchange.
balance, yeah, but just an even exchange in general.
Mhm.
If I wasn't, and sometimes I wasn't getting that, and I was still allowing people to be in my life. But I know that we've all been through that. But give me a little bit of
Mhm.
insight on that. Let's get a little deep with this. I know that most of people that deal with Forex, they go into Forex, they're like, you're crazy, this is a scam, you're gonna lose all your money, you're gonna owe your house, all these different things.
Right.
But has there been any time within your life that happened, especially during this journey?
What do you mean, like just setbacks
Like,
or
not getting the proper support, or
oh
people,
my
the
god.
naysayers, like,
We've been here forever.
especially as a woman, I know that.
Okay, let's talk about support. My family is still like, "You still do that trading thing?"
You're kidding me.
This
Even now?
day, like, I literally have a goal to retire my parents by the end of next December 2021. I set that 3 years ago. I'll probably do that, and they'll be like, "Are you sure you're not, like, gonna go to jail? Like,
It's like, is this
you sure
illegal?
it's illegal?" I'm like, "Y'all relax." Like, you know what I mean? Like, human, simple, like, if it's not a job, it's like, "What is this?" So, which is okay, but it's like, support wise, yeah, I've had to support myself in this. Like, I mean, I was lucky to have obviously my friend that started it. We supported one another, but like beyond that, I love all my friends and all. But it's like it's crazy to me that when I was exposed to this, right, I told everybody, I was like, y'all, do y'all understand what this is? Like this opportunity here. Like I saw, it was crazy to me because I saw it, and when I would share it, I'd be like, no, but y'all didn't see it. Look at it again. I'm like, y'all don't understand.
Like, you guys
Y'all don't
don't get
get
it.
this.
You understand what's happening right now. You guys are doing exactly what the
Exactly.
banks are doing with your money when you go to sleep. Wait a minute.
Mhm.
And they're making money off your money. So why don't you make money
Yep.
off of your money?
And that was so big for me. I'm like, "Wait, the
It's like
banks already do
that
this?
whole thing went
And
like
with my
this.
money? My money?
Yeah.
They do it
Yeah,
with my money, so why don't I do the exact same
why don't
thing?"
I get a part of it? I get 0.00. Maybe
Exactly.
1% back.
So
Maybe.
I've always had to support myself in terms of like my mindset with it. I've had to support myself and just be like, you have to remember your why, right? And you have to stay focused and let that drive you. But in terms of like the support, I've done most of it by myself, and it's a shame really because it's like I would have loved to have all my friends have done this, and some of them now ask about it, but it's like we could be in the same place. You know what I mean? Like, had you started at the same time as me, like we could just be killing this together. So it's a little bit bittersweet, of course. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've had obstacles galore too, like so many. And there's
I mean,
I've
you're
never
already, and I
gotten
failed to mention this, but you're already a
yeah,
6-figure, almost 7-figure trader. Like you guys understand the power of that, especially as a
and
single mom. Give her some
yeah,
love down below. Like you guys, I don't know how
yeah,
many single parents there are out there. To be a single parent is one of the most challenging things, but the most rewarding. I'm not gonna
absolutely.
cry. I always, every time I talk about my son,
Right.
like my heart just like, and then I get like
Yeah,
teary
it's like
eyed.
that one. Yeah.
Everything. Like you talked about why. And I'm glad that shouts to Alyse Amores and Thomas Carver from Lion's Den.
Yes, we love them. They're great.
Because they the way that they have it structured in the back office from the original, or not the back office, but their back office for Online Marketing Pro, that's a plug by the way,
Yes.
is the way that they have it set up. What's beautiful is that before we even got the platform in the university, we had so much support. There was people making
Yes.
money
They
just
won.
from what we had to plug in. Like I was excited, and I'm like attempting to translate this to everybody. This is why I'm talking about it. I want to shout it to everybody, like guys,
Mhm.
or shake people. Just
Right.
it's once you see value. But that's I think what screws with me.
Mhm.
You can't force anybody, or there's no way to force other people to see what you see, because they might not even see value within themselves in anything they do in general. They might not even see value. They
Yeah.
might just think, oh, well, you got to actually work for it.
I'll tell
Like
you
this
the
might
number one thing.
right.
After you finish that, I want to make a point
Go
because
ahead. Go ahead. Share.
okay. Well, so I'll tell you the main reason. I mean, there's risk, but there's risk in everything.
Yeah.
I think the main reason why, because it actually has a similarity to actually with network marketing and trading, is that you have to be able to bet on yourself. A
Yeah.
lot of people don't want to admit that they don't want to bet on themselves, right? Because with a job, it's a guaranteed. That's definitely in quotations because it's not guaranteed. Nonetheless, they feel as though it's a guaranteed paycheck. I show up, I put in the hours, I'm going to get paid regardless of effort, right?
Same thing with
Network
trading.
marketing is effort-based business, right? So it is directly results driven. So they're like, well, I'm not making money. And sometimes they feel like they put in work. Maybe they weren't putting in good work or they were running in circles. Nonetheless, same thing with trading, right? Your results are based off yourself, right? And you have to be able to bet on yourself. So a lot of people, even if they're not at the point of realizing that, they're too scared to bet on themselves. So you have to,
It
I'm
goes
not going
back
to
to
say I
my
was 100% confident on my abilities with it, but I knew I was going to try. I knew that for sure. But yeah, that's the truth. A lot of people are too scared to bet on themselves.
yeah. Shouts Ali was just right on here. Let's see what he
There's
mentioned.
Thomas. What up, Thomas?
Thomas is on too. Hey guys, how are
What
you?
up, Ali?
I know that we have a team call coming up here, so we're gonna go ahead
Yeah,
and start closing out in a little bit. I just wanted to get her on here, guys. If you guys are seeing value in what she's saying and what we're sharing, we are actually part of a movement. And if you guys are ready for this movement, you let me know. And
yeah,
if
we're
you're
coming
already part of
regardless.
this movement, you guys know to put a 777 down below. Share this out with the team. Miss Alyse has been sharing so much value in general in our platform. Listen, as I keep telling everybody this, one of the first sessions I saw, it was just you. Okay. I was listening to it from bed, looking at it from one eye open, London session. My boyfriend was like, what are you even doing right now? I said, babe, you have to listen to this girl. He's like, you have a girl crush. I'm like, no, she knows her stuff. He's so crazy. I was like, no, she knows her stuff. I've never heard of a female
Right.
speak about smart money concepts and manipulation and all that ever. It's always been gentlemen. So
Right.
what has been your experience coming into this industry as a
Mhm.
female? Okay. Not only that, trading accounts, and then also being an educator. And then not only that, but breaking records,
Right.
like talk about that, because it's been a quick ride for you. Not a quick ride. It's almost like sped through. You know,
I feel like I've gotten some I feel like the hospitality industry kind of prepared that for me a little bit, or like the chef industry, because I'm always, everything I've done, I've always been like, hi, I'm only female, nice to meet you.
That's me.
So that's not anything new. But with that said, I will say that the trading space is a whole different avenue, because it's like you get to do 10 times better to get 1 ounce of respect, like that a male trader wouldn't have to necessarily do. But the thing is, like, a lot of people try not to take me seriously, but that's okay, because my numbers never lie. Okay. Yeah. So I've even had, like, I have, like I said, I trade for a small hedge fund, and I have an investor I trade for now. But the first time I auditioned for one, just to make a long story short, I had a manager that didn't really take women seriously. So he had one talented trader that was a female, and she wanted to bring in more females, because she's like, I think you're really missing out on a whole entire avenue of skill set because you don't work with females. So he let her go look for other female traders. And then she came across me. Actually, someone referred her to me, and then they kind of recruited me, and I auditioned and whatnot. But yeah, he really messed up on that one, because let me tell you.
Oh, they didn't bring you on board. Okay, well.
No, they made the offer. I rejected it, but we're getting there. So basically, so I go in, and I'm asking about the requirements, because I have to do an audition. It's a 2-month audition, right? This is not a joke. This is like, you have to send in the tracker to even be considered. So you have to have your own tracking, and then still you have to audition on your own live funds, and for like 2 months, 1% risk, all that stuff.
Wow.
Long story short, the goal was 10% a month, 1% risk. I asked him during the audition, because of course I wanted to take it seriously, because it was going to be like mass money. And so, yeah, I was like, just curious, what is your best trader doing? And he's like, oh, well, he's doing 20%. And I'm like, so, but regardless of our percentage, you pay out on that, right? And he was like, well, I don't know why you're asking all these questions. I've never seen a good female trader. And he started to go off. Wow. Like, you can't ask me any questions, so you're as good as him. And I'm like, okay, bet. So I was like, cool, great. So anyways, I went and did 40% that day, and then I did 100% that week, and then I sent that in to him, and he offered me the contract, and he said, "Oh, you're the best trader I've ever seen." And I was like, "Yeah, that's great, but I'm good. Thank you, though."
Oh,
I'm like,
wow.
I need for us to respect one another, and you don't respect me, and I don't think you deserve the value that I bring, because of the fact that you discounted, like, you underestimated me because I was female, and I'm not going to sit here and have to, like, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not putting up with it. So, like, you have to understand the value you bring. And what's funny is that the investor that I trade for now was actually his investor. So basically, I turned down that contract because I was like, when the contract also wasn't good, by the way. The contract was like very one-sided.
Oh, no.
Nonetheless, he had already been sharing the results with the investors, right? Because they make the decision. So basically, his personal investors reach out to me, and they're like, yeah, screw him. We're going to do it. And then I was able to set my own numbers. So it worked out like times 1,000.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so
but you followed it.
Have been.
Guys, I want you to take note of this, okay? Because I know that there's a lot of females on here. A lot of my girls. Shouts to Mariana, Cassie on here. Okay, I think Tina's on here as well. Daya, I can never pronounce her name. I'm sorry, Daya. I think it's Daya or Daya. I love her, and she's like one of our Spanish leaders. But it's just when you know your value, stick to it. Women, we have the power. It's not just the power of the P. Okay, that's actually power. Okay, that's literal power, and this goes across the board. Not just women, men as well. Anybody in general. We all have that within ourselves. If we don't value ourselves and we don't treat ourselves like we want others to treat us, okay, not just settling, then there's no way we're going to get paid more in the marketplace. Okay. We have to be able to create that for ourselves. I had this conversation earlier with a friend of mine, because I was just talking on, he's like, people don't know what I do. They don't respect me, or they think that just because I'm quiet that I don't do anything. But when they find out what I'm actually doing, they're shocked. They're like, how is it that you're actually breaking these kinds of ceilings and these glass ceilings? It's not about that. It's because it's belief, right? We go ahead and we can shift that. We can shift the narrative in all walks of life. We're talking about we know what's been going on this year. We can shift that narrative, but we all have to do our part. Okay. It starts with one person and it becomes a snowball. It's like a wave, right? It keeps on growing, but we have to come together and find our value. Right. And we've been seeing
Absolutely.
women being disrespected or called out of their name
I
or
promise I'll
considered
never
less
make that
than.
mistake again.
Say again.
I promise I'll never make that mistake again.
Well, no, you
The
didn't.
thing
You
is that he
actually
makes
didn't.
money when I make money, right? I make him money, so I would have been his biggest earner, period. And he messed
Yeah.
that up by really being out of pocket with me, and I made sure he knew that. But the other reason why I love that story too is because I had manifested that opportunity. I had manifested wanting to trade a anything bigger than $1 million account, multi-million dollar account. And sometimes the universe will bring to you what you want, but you also have to make sure that it meets all your things. So it was like, here's part of it, but this was your growth challenge, right?
Mhm.
Are you gonna accept this part of it? Like we can give you something better, but are you gonna accept this? There we go. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
So I was still like, man, because it was a big decision. Don't get me wrong. Trust me. It was like, man, I could just put up with it. Like I can put up with the jerk, make good money, and this be gone. But still, it was like I couldn't set with the decision of like letting him think that he need like that I was doing it. It was just I couldn't make peace with it. All right, it was a big decision, and so but when I turned it down, the universe was still like, oh, I got something better for you, right? So
Yeah.
now that you didn't allow this, you're gonna get what you really deserve, right? So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Thank you for sharing that. And that's been the theme for me for really for quite some time. And each time I'm presented with the opportunity to challenge, like Veronica, hey, guess what? We're seeing where you are with everything. Here's this. Are you going to settle? Or are you going to keep on
right,
taking
exactly,
steps to that next level? Because if you know your worth, you're going to keep going to the next level, honoring
mhm,
that where it's showing you in your life and then
right,
continuously growing and expanding and evolving from there. So thank you so much for sharing that because I've been on the
right.
same journey, girl, that I had to tell myself the same thing. I
Yeah.
started to actually believe the things that were being said at one point. And I think we've all been there. We started thinking like, man,
Oh yeah, I
are they
definitely could
right?
have been like, just kind of like bottled up and regressed and been like, if I would have taken those things personally and listened to what they said, it's like, but no, you gotta be able to be your own reinforcer sometimes and be
Yeah.
like, no, this is crap. Like my numbers are
Yeah.
good. I'm a good trader. I'm a nice person. Like, sometimes you gotta give yourself the little pep talk.
There's tons of stories like that, and I love sharing them. So I'm glad that you're sharing your story with us. I wanted to ask you one more question before we
Sure.
start to close out, because I could keep you here all day. You already know that. Yeah,
Yeah,
as you
we
can
can
see, we can literally have an
we can
entire
this room having a
conversation,
conversation forever. No way.
especially when it comes to female traders. Like I get so freaking
Yeah.
excited and like so amped
Exactly.
up. I was like one of the top salespeople in my insurance agency at one point, and I've always been like
Right.
top, like just pushing through. And they're just like, "Who is this chick?"
Mhm.
I'm like, "It's me."
Totally go
I've
getter.
always known since I was little I was going to be greater
Right.
than, greater than even greater than my previous self, greater than the person the day before. And so we
Right.
go back and forth, but every single day we would talk about that, get 1% better by the end of the year,
Right.
365% better. That's more than majority of people in this entire world. Right. Shouts to
Yeah.
Carrie Jack, Happy Hustle. Guys, if you ever guys check out any podcast outside of the Online Marketing Pro with Ali and Thomas, definitely
Mhm.
check out Carrie Jack's Happy Hustle. Okay. I'm doing a mastermind program with him. It is bananas. We have all the masterminds. I got the Light Beings Mastermind. I have,
Right.
the Lions Den Leadership Group Mastermind Boot Camp. I'm like part of so
You know
many
what? It's not by
masterminds.
mistake. The
No,
reason that you're attracting all that stuff around you, all those better people helping you evolve because you're accepting it and you're putting it out there.
I already know, girl. You just gave me the dang chills, man.
Yeah.
Like I just knew, and
It's
we talked
happening.
about this beforehand.
Right.
I knew that even though things are going on in my life, this isn't the worst that can happen. I gotta remain grateful and stick on the path, stay where my purpose lies, because that's gonna take
Definitely.
me farther into where I can really be that philanthropist and help more and more people, and specifically queens, right? Where are my queens out here, man? Like you guys are on it, right?
All right.
One last thing, because I know a lot of people don't really know too much about it. You might not know much about it, but I have what's called the superhuman movement. I actually have
Okay.
7 pillars of health, wellness, mindset that actually encompass a little bit of financial wellness within there as well, where it's
Okay.
just having that full alignment within your life to tap into your superhuman powers, right? So
Right.
if you could have one superpower, whatever it could
Oh,
be,
no.
whatever it would be, what would it be?
I always felt this question. I feel like
No,
I change my
it's how you
mind.
feel at the
I
time.
change my mind like every month. Um,
It's because you
I don't
keep gaining
know. I
superpowers, girl. You're
feel
like,
like
oh, I already
sometimes I
got
get
that.
so set on flying. I'm like, but flying though. Um, but I feel like being able to like read people. I feel like we already have the power to do this anyways, right? To be able to read people on energy and whatnot. But I don't know, like telepathically or not, but like just to, I
Maybe like color
don't
code
know.
them, like being able to
Yeah,
color
like
code them,
be
like
able to really help
see it.
people on a deeper level because I can really like,
You can
I
do
don't know.
far
Now that I'm
more.
describing it sounds creepy. So let's just, I'm flying, right?
Oh my gosh,
Yeah, but
everybody's like,
like
I'm
I'm
flying, I'm
able to
flying.
like read people in terms of like really like their deepest thoughts and be able to like help
Yeah.
them maybe on a level like that. But I guess that sounds like a therapist of me trying to fix things.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
We're not
But I
even
think
gonna
that'd
go
be pretty
there.
cool.
I'm always attempting to fix people. And it was just like I had to learn again. That was like an allowance, like having to
Mhm.
learn to allow people and just give them the tools, kind of watch them, focus on the ones that are really digging in, the ones that are kind
Right.
of still like, resting on the laurels, like like Ali says, resting on their laurels, are kind of just like pacing by
Right.
that's not me. And so I'm going to attract more people who are just as driven and ready to take things
Right.
on. Um,
I love
and
that you say that because I've always felt big on like the only way for you to attract your tribe is for you to be genuine.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So a lot of times people aren't they feel like, oh, people around me don't understand me. It's like, but you're not also not putting yourself out there of who you are. You're scared of either being judged or not being accepted. But the only way to
Yeah.
find your tribe is to be unapologetically yourself and to
Mhm.
be genuine, right? So the reason why my life changed a lot and I have a different circle is for that exact reason. I stopped trying to suppress who I was and started to
Yeah.
be like, oh, this is me. So
Yeah,
where are people
guys,
that are like
never
me?
never suppress your light. There's a reason why you are the way you are. Integrate all of the things that you feel you judge or that you may not think are perfect. Make sure that you express yourself with full integrity and ingenuity. I guess no, not really.
Absolutely.
Being completely genuine and just follow that. Follow that, even if it seems out of sorts. Guys, we are unique. We are literally the most unique imprint of like the entire planet, right? Every single one of them are different. However, we are still all one because we work off the same one energy source. Thank you so much, Alyse. I
Thank
love this.
you.
I hope that we can get a part 2 to this because that would be so much fun.
Awesome.
Guys, make sure, please, please, please share some love down below. Let me know if you guys love this. Thank you so much for your time, Alyse. Go ahead and
Thank
plug your
you.
socials in for everybody because I see that for
Awesome.
some
Thank you
reason
so
it
much,
wasn't
y'all,
coming
for
up.
listening as
Here, I'll go
well.
ahead.
See some familiar faces. I have to give a shout out one more time to Ali and Thomas because like I haven't done network marketing since forever.
Yeah.
And I really like wasn't gonna do it again. And it's like because I always
Girl,
feel
me
like I
too.
have to be with my tribe, right? I know we keep mentioning that, but it's like Ali and I were strangers not that long ago, right? And it was
Same.
like I was meant to see the post. I was meant to reach out to him. He already knew. I mean, because he had a post previously, like we might have possible opening. Like we started conversing and whatnot. But it's like I'm sure hundreds of other people hit him up. I'm sure he had plenty of other people to work with. But we knew off of first conversation, like, okay, we got the same mindset. Like this is gonna work. And Thomas has been such a blessing as well. So I just had to give them a shout out. And like I said, I'm happy
Yeah.
to have my little tribe because I love it here.
I love it here. You know what? And I have to also give a quick shout out, Damon, Alexander, and Cassie. They've been like
Yes,
my
thank
support
you.
system in all of this. And if it wasn't for
Yeah,
partnering with them, Winter Circle, I would not have been partnered with the Lions Den. So it's all congruent, like it's all in sync with that. And I've learned so much from every single one of them. And the team calls,
absolutely.
which is gonna be going down in about 5 minutes,
In
guys.
5
I
minutes,
invite you.
we're
If you
there.
guys even if you're not part of the team, I welcome you. I know that you guys are very interested. We're open books. If you want to just sit on a call and just listen to how we roll, listen, we're all good for that. I know Ali would approve of it. He loves having people on
Yeah,
because there's nothing to hide. We don't do this behind the scenes kind of stuff as far as like behind your back. No, it's pure and pure through and through pure for everyone. So thank
mhm.
you, Alyse. You guys can follow
Thank
her at
you.
IG at Alyse_them V. If you guys on her sessions, make sure to go to the calendar in the back office to get her to go ahead and set her sessions in your calendars. Do not miss these sessions, especially those who've been trading for 24, maybe 12, 24 months already. Her concepts are dope. All right. So if you guys want more information, if you're watching on Alyse's end, definitely reach out to her. If you guys are reaching out on my end, go ahead and definitely reach out to me. We'll get you guys plugged in. I'm so excited to go on this journey with you. Hopefully I get to see you in Mexico. I don't know.
I know it is just the beginning. So
all right. But thank you so much for having for having the time to be on with
and congratulations on your rank up too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's not about me. It's really the team. It's the team.
Yeah.
It's all my team. Yeah, I'm no one without my team. They know who they are. And thank you guys so much for the support. And yeah, that's it. And I hope everyone has a beautiful Friday. Remember, you guys make your day, so make it great. Love you guys so much. Peace, love, and blessings.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Wait, let's